Way too many people still sleep on this amazing Chinese tech giant, which has huge potential in the upcoming years. So that's why today I want to share with you our outlook for JD.com and tell you why you should not be one of those people sleeping on these amazing opportunities. Hello and welcome to another video by HKCM Global. My name is Joe. And so we analyze 200 assets on a daily basis. Commodities, cryptocurrencies, companies, you know the drill. And so whilst looking through our portfolio of companies, especially our Chinese companies, I noticed one particular gem that I here on this channel have yet never told you about. And right now there's amazing opportunity building up in the price action of this said company. And yes, we are talking about JD.com. I already told you here on this channel, and you've probably heard many people bang the drum about Alibaba, the huge online retailer out of China. However, there is another huge online retailer out of China that should not be disregarded in those comparisons, and that is JD.com. And in the following weeks, I am gonna do an in-depth comparison between JD.com and Alibaba. So definitely stay tuned for that. And I would advise you to right now already subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notification so that you will not miss that video. However, for today, I do not have the time to go into that in-depth analysis and comparison of those two companies, because today I want to cut straight to the meat of it, because right now there's huge opportunity coming up in JD.com and I do not want you to miss that opportunity, because by the time this other video that I just told you about is gonna come out, maybe this opportunity is already past. So without any further ado now, we are jumping right in. And so then very quickly, just so you can get a better idea on what we're talking about, Alibaba right here again on companies marketcap.com. I love that website. Alibaba, you can see here over the last couple of years, pretty solid here in the realm between 130 to 140 billion dollars in revenue. JD.com, whilst being way less popular with investors, they are already in the very same time frame. They are pulling in 150 to even 170 billion dollars in revenue. So pretty comparable in regards of revenue. But still, so few investors talk about JD.com, and that has reasons. Because as we jump in here to the overreaching time frame and our outlook and analysis for JD.com, you can see that back in 2020, early 2021 even, so the height of the COVID madness, that was the time, of course, when many online retailers surged, and similar was the case for JD.com. Back then, JD.com hit its so far all-time high at $108.29. By the way, right now here in this analysis, we're talking about JD.com listed at the NASDAQ, ticker JD. There's also another JD.com, well, it is the same JD.com, but it's also listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So if you want to implement our price targets in your own trading, please make sure that you are trading the right company, just as a side note. And so then, ever since this high in early 2021, we have seen a rather complex and prolonged WXY XZ correction here for JD.com, leading to an overreaching long-term wave 2 bottom that we have seen back in January of 2024 at exactly $20.82. And ever since, we have seen quite a memorable recovery. So that was 130% almost in the top. However, on current levels, we are only up around 50% from those levels. I mean, still in terms of stocks, 50% in 1.5 years, that's nice. There's nothing to complain about that performance. But of course, what's even way better is our outlook for JD.com. Because as you can see here on the chart, we conclude that in the grand scheme of things, the wave 2 bottom has already been established here for JD.com. And so we conclude that we are already right now in the intermediate 1, 2, 3 wave structure here. So of course, this will then complete another 5 wave structure in total, completing the overreaching wave 3 here in blue and brackets to follow this wave 2 bottom from February of 2024. There's only one disclaimer here to be given though, because ever since this upward structure, which was quite promising, this then following price action raised concerns, and that's why we have decided to bring an alternative scenario here on the chart, or an alternative wave 2 bottom to come in, maybe even slightly lower still, dropping again into this trading area, which is again not grayed out at this moment. So the area which you can see here on the chart marked in blue between $28.38 and $12 2023. Currently, we only hold this at a 31% probability, but it is a probability nevertheless. So to complete that picture then, let's jump to the more imminent time frame. So right here we have been on the 4-day chart. Let's jump to the 8-hour chart. So a more up-close time frame and a more up-close view of what is happening exactly in the chart. You can see here that it's the very same trading area that I already showed you on the overreaching chart. And let's maybe pull that a bit further apart so we can see better what is going on right now with JD.com. So then, starting out from this wave 2 bottom here in January or February of 2024, we have seen so far a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves upwards impulse leading into this intermediate wave 1 top that we have seen in May of 2024, and this top was then followed by a wave 2 bottom, an intermediate wave 2 bottom here in August of 2024, and ever since we have seen a violent run here for JD.com and a rather prolonged and complex correction here to follow. And back then already we brought a target zone here on the chart, giving you here perfect entry opportunity to just starting from the very upper boundary, which we perfectly hit, giving you already roughly 50% of gains here in the very short term in a matter of, so this is 8 hours, in a matter of not even 2 months. And from there onward then, this was the corrective wave B top. We see currently the wave C still in the making, which means that we should expect a lower low here into our target zone between the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement, potentially all the way down to the 100% Fibonacci retracement. And again, here we also have an intermediate alternative scenario here on the chart for JD.com, which is that this wave 2 low here in blue could potentially already be in, and that would mean that we would not see this new low here, but we would directly rise through to this then alternative wave 3 high. So again, the primary scenario here on the intermediate outlook is that we first go a little bit lower to form this intermediate wave 2 low, to then rise to this intermediate wave 3 high. And the alternative scenario here would be that we have already back here in, well, basically in the mid of July, have seen the alternative wave 2, and from this levels here we would then rise to the very same levels for this intermediate wave 3. But in either case, from current levels, this is delicious gains to be made. So from current levels right now, from today as we speak, that would mean in the alternative scenario, which is the less favorable one, we would see already 100% gains in the very next move here for JD.com. And if we are to really dip into this target zone, this, of course, would mean even better gains. And I'm, again, only starting here from the upper fourth here of this target zone to make it more fair. So this would be then close to 150% for JD.com in the next upcoming move. If you ask me, that's tremendous opportunity here. And then again, for you to round it all up, to give you a better understanding what we're talking about here. So this then here in red, 1, 2, 3, overreaching wave 3 here, that we see on the chart would still be the undercount for this huge wave 1 to form. So in the grand scheme of things here on the long-term outlook, the next move here for this wave 3 top even that we see for JD.com, again starting from only current levels, would then mean an easy 350 to 400% in the upcoming years. So I believe that's amazing opportunity both on the intermediate outlook and also on the long-term outlook. And that's why I wanted to share that with you right now here, completely free of charge, free value for you, and not only reserve this opportunity, this special opportunity here in JD.com for our paying subscribers. But of course, right now, as we speak, there's more opportunities exactly like this one here with JD for our paying subscribers. And if you are right now not one of them, down there in the description, there is a link taking you to our website where we analyze 200 assets on a daily basis, cryptocurrencies, commodities, stocks, indices, you name it. And if you choose a couple of titles or packages out of our portfolio, you can get daily updates, you can get entries to our model portfolios, you can get alerts whenever something changes in the chart. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd highly advise you to check that out. And up until then, see you in the next one. Take care.